Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time. Quickly, Hanesbrands is in more than 80% of every household. The only brand that is in more households is Procter & Gamble, so there's a really good chance we're with you. You think about what is, exactly as Scott said, what can innovation from Hanesbrands, it's a tidy whities, how much innovation can there be? But just as a scale, in 1963, a pair of tidy-whitey briefs cost $1. Until cotton prices went crazy last year, so 50 years later, a pair still cost $1. Inflation, that should have cost you $50. So how do we still make it cost $1? It's innovation. What can we do to make that thing quicker, faster, better? 20 years ago, if you look at it as just as a scale of your t-shirt, it took us 27 gallons of water to make one t-shirt. Today, it takes us about 2 gallons. And we have technology that within 5 years will be down to ½ a gallon per t-shirt. So that's really important. From the things you've seen earlier, we measure our energy consumption by how much water we use, because every gallon of water has to be pumped, stored, moved, heated, cooled. So water consumption is a really good measure of how we're running our facilities. So you mentioned 50,000 worldwide employees, about 1,500 people in Winston-Salem. Some of our brands, so this past year, Hanes has taken over and is the largest performance apparel brand now. Between Champion and C9 at Target, we are the #1. And Brett Marchand, I think most of you know, his wife has been a big part of that. So tell her thanks for us. But you see a lot of brands there that you don't think of Hanes. So technology-wise, the same technology they're using to do seats for airplanes, we use to make bras for Playtex and Bally. That's how we get fit. We measured 50,000 people, scanned them digitally, and used that as our backup to get final garment designs and shapes. One thing that I'm very proud of is we are the only textile apparel that is Energy Star certified. So we actually have Energy Star on our packages, the only apparel company that can do that. The way we can do that is because we focus on the energy that we're consuming, water we're consuming. So there are lots and lots of things innovation-wise. We actually partner with smaller companies that you see because there's not enough time in the world for that, and we can't hire that much expertise. So we look for small companies that can deliver and help us get where we need to be as a company on energy consumption, keeping our prices where they need to be. So alternative to fiber is our biggest consumption. Cotton, we consume 350 million pounds of cotton per year. If you look at where cotton is grown, it is a very small part of the world that cotton can be grown successfully in. Cotton grows at the same time as most food crops. So we don't want a replacement for cotton because cotton is a fantastic fiber. It's comfortable. We all like to wear it. But what is the next generation for cotton? It takes about 30 gallons of cotton for every pound, for 30 gallons of water for every pound of cotton grown. So we started working with flax about 5 years ago. So we saw an alternative to flax for omega-3s because flax is a huge crop in northern US and Canada. About 15 million acres, I believe, are planted in flax today. They only buy it, you only consume it for flax seeds, do nothing with the fiber. So we started looking at how can we, it's a huge fiber crop, and flax, historically, you would know it as linen. You don't want to wear linen. It wrinkles, the tablecloths are linen. You would not want to wear a tablecloth. They're hard, rigid. So we started looking at where is cotton going to be. If you look at where we are in total, today, our options are wool, cotton, synthetic fibers, and with the population growth, we are going to run out of arable land to grow cotton. So it's going to be a choice of do we grow cotton or do we grow food. So that's one of the things that pushed us, what is the next alternative to cotton? And if you look on the map here, there's a swath here that for the US that cotton grows in. It's a pretty limited area. When cotton grows in the summertime is also the time of the year that we don't get a lot of rain. Cotton takes a lot of water. You look at the area that flax can be grown in. This area that we're currently in, North South Carolina, flax is actually a winter crop, so it allows the farmers to have a second crop. So that's a big deal for farmers. So as a long history, if you see someone in the Arabian desert and they're wearing a long flowing robe, it is flax. It absorbs and wicks moisture much like polyester, but it's a natural fiber. Has lower chemical inputs. Just for a scale, a farmer for cotton will spend about $450 an acre to grow a pound for cotton. For flax, it's about 250 pounds per acre. $250 per acre, sorry. That output, 787 pounds of cotton to 2,700 pounds of flax. So you can see for their dollar, they get a lot more output for their inputs, and it's a second crop in the South. So why hasn't someone really jumped on flax and made it an apparel fiber before? The big reason is it's not comfortable. It's not something you want to wear. So along with the theme of smaller is better, this is the cross-section of a flax bundle. This outer is very woody. It's a byproduct. These bundles are actually fibers, and this pithy middle looks like a sponge. So 30% of this fiber, of this plant, can become fiber. Of that, what we've been able to do with another startup company called Kralar, NAT, National Advanced Technologies, is to break this into the ultimate fibers. So this is what historically linen would be made out of. We're using these individual fibers. Cotton is about 6 microns, which is about the thickness of a dollar bill. This fiber is about 8 microns, so it's slightly larger. It's more straight, doesn't have natural crimp that cotton would have. So it's a complement to cotton. It's not a replacement. It's something we would want to put somewhere in the 10 to 20% range of a shirt. It gives you better wicking, better evaporation, much like polyester would. The great thing about this crop is all of these other outside layers. This woody part in Europe, they use hemp, but actually make composites for the liners of BMWs and Mercedes. So there is a market for that. We're helping them develop that market. The inner layer, the pithy middle, is actually a fantastic absorber and can be used as bedding. So if you look at output for cotton is 780 pounds per acre, they actually have an opportunity to do 9,000 pounds of output per acre. For a lower input, cotton is 30 gallons per acre per pound of 30 gallons of water per pound of cotton. This is about 7. And it's growing in the time that it's natural rain. So very low irrigation, if any irrigation at all. So we actually planted our first crops last year in North and South Carolina, and these are actually fields that were grown in South Carolina and harvested. These are seed crops in Canada. We can use that as fiber also, but the fiber is not as small, so it might be okay for socks or denim, or curtains, those type of things. Our net output for the farmer last year, the very first year we helped get this organized with agronomics, the USDA, North Carolina and South Carolina Departments of Agriculture, is $7 million for the farmer. So it's a crop benefit for us. We still think it's a 4 or 5 year off before we have anything continuously commercially available. We have socks programs that have already shipped. So it's been a success for us so far, but we expect bigger things to come. Thank you.